Hello everyone. I hope everyone is doing well and is happy and healthy. I'm here today. I want to show you how to make a granny square. It's very simple. Double crochet, single crochets, chain. Double crochets and chain. So it's really simple and easy. And you can just make this as big as you want. You can make as many as you want. Sew them together to make a really pretty blanket. And I have made one. So I'll put a picture at the end of the one that I made. I made it with scrap, and it's a whole bunch of different colors. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tie my slip knot. And if you prefer at the beginning to do a magic circle so that you don't have an opening in the middle, you certainly could. I guess I've always done it this way because I'm an old timer. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am just going to do a chain of 3. I love this aqua color. It is Red Heart and my needle is a 5.0. So I did my chain 3. I'm going to go into this very first chain here. I'm only going to go under one loop and I'm going to do a slip stitch. So I'm going to grab it and bring it through. And now I have this little hole in the middle. And I'm going to start doing my square. So I'm going to chain 3. I'm going to yarn over. We're going to start doing our double crochets and we're going to do 2. So that first chain is going to count as a double crochet. And we're going to chain 1 and we're going to do 3 more double crochets. We're going to want to have 4 different groups of these 3 double crochets to start our square. Chain 1. We're going to do another set of the 3 double crochets. This is a really nice pattern. It works up really fast. You could do a lot of different things with this. Once you start making these squares, you could do single crochets in between. I'll have to show you something I made with that. But this traditional granny square, they're just awesome. And I think they look so retro. And you could do different patterns with colors. You could make every row a different color, which would give it a lot of character. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of 3. Remember, your chain is going to count as your first double crochet here. So now I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to do a slip stitch into the top of that chain. So you just grab it and pull it all the way through and you can see the beginning of your little square. So if you were going to change your color, but you know what, let's go ahead and do that now for the purpose so that you can see how it's going to look. I'm going to go ahead and end my color. So if I was going to use the same color, I probably wouldn't change my color. What I would do is I would do a slip stitch here, do a slip stitch here, slip stitch into here. Then I would go ahead and after you do your slip stitch, I would chain 2 after your slip stitch. And then in this one, it is going to be a corner. So we are going to do 2 more double crochets because that first chain is going to count as a double crochet. So now we have a total of 3. We're going to chain 1. And I am burying my tail here as we go. And I'm going to do another set of 3 double crochets in the same stitch because this is going to be a corner. We're working on our corners. Okay, so now I have my first set of 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to go over here to my next opening. I'm going to yarn over, and I'm going to do a set of 3 double crochets. We're going to chain 1. So we have our first set of 3 double crochets. Now we're going to do another set of 3. Like I said, this is going to be a corner. And we're going to continue to do this all the way around. These two colors are doing pretty good together. Okay, so I'm going to chain 1 now that I got my second combination of 3 double crochets. I'm going to go to the next opening, and I'm going to do 3 double crochets. Sorry, these scissors are bugging me. So we're going to do 3 double crochets, chain 1, and do 3 more double crochets in this same opening. I wanted to tell everybody that I'm sorry my voice is yucky sometimes. Sometimes I'm sniffling. Sometimes it just sounds like I'm gasping for air. I have a little bit of a problem with my lungs, so I'm not being able to talk a lot at one time, move around a lot, and so I just sound really nasally sometimes. And I wish I sounded more cheery and happy, because I wanted my channel to be happy and everybody to hear the happiness and how much joy this brings me in my voice, and it's just not coming through. So I just wanted to let you know that inside I'm full of joy, even if my voice is not conveying that. So I did my 2 sets of 3 double crochets. I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to go here, which is going to be my last corner, because of course for a square we need 4 corners, so we'll have our 4 corners. I'm going to go ahead and just bury this blue one here, but like I said, if you did not want to change your color and you wanted to use the same color, you would have just slip stitched to that opening, and you would have slip stitch into it and then did your 2 double crochets, and that would be your first stitch. And this is really nice. Like I said, it's very retro. It's just sometimes can be a challenge that you don't see where you started each row, and that's the trick of hiding that. So look at there, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. Pretty happy. I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to go over here to this top, chain, and I'm going to do a slip stitch. And a slip stitch is just pulling it through and pulling it through the next one all the way. Oh, I better do that over because it's pulling. Okay, let's try that again. Now, once you get the hang of this, you can just keep going and going and making this as big as you want it to be. Okay, so we're not going to change our color, just so I can show you. So we're not going to change our color. So we slip stitched into this first one. We're going to slip stitch into the second one here. Okay, I'm going to go under both of them, both strands, and then we are going to go ahead and slip stitch into this opening, which is the corner, and see how nice that looks. Now we're just going to go ahead and we're going to chain 2, and now we're going to start. These are always going to be our corners. They're always going to have a double crochet, 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. And then when we come here, we are just going to do 3 double crochets. That way the corners stay the corners and the middles stay the middles. So the middles, because as you go, you're going to be adding one of these middle ones each time. So they'll always have 3 double crochets in them. So let's go ahead and do another row. So this first one is going to count as a double crochet. I did my 3 double crochets here in the corner. I did chained 1, and now I want to do another set of 3 double crochets. Now you'll want to pay attention to this row because this is just your repeat row. In your corners, you're going to do 3 double crochets, chain 1, do 3 more double crochets, and after you get done with the corner, before you get to the other corner, all the other openings, you're going to chain 1, and you're going to do 3 double crochets. Then you're going to chain 1. Now you have your corner over here. You can see your opening. You're going to yarn over, and you're going to do your corner. You're going to do 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then do another set of 3 double crochets. And like I said, this, I'm going to chain my 1. So this is a really nice pattern. You can change your colors, make them small, make them big, sew them together. There's just so much you could do with this. So we have our corner. We went into our middle, did 3. So when you go around the next time, you're going to do your 3, chain 1, another set of 3. Chain 1, you'll go into this one and do 3 double crochets. You're going to chain 1 and do 3 double crochets. You're going to chain 1, do your set of 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then do another set of 3 double crochets. So you can see here the pattern, and that's just the pattern that you're going to do all the way around and your next row also. And you can just keep making it as big as you want it. And it's so funny if you think back watching movies. Roseanne had one, and her squares were all different colors, and I believe it was all sewn together. She went around every block with black, and then it was sewed together, and I just thought that was so cute. You can make one where you change colors with every square, and you make a whole bunch of squares that are same, sew them together with a pink or a purple or blue for a boy. There's just so much you could do with this pattern. And just remember, in your corners, you're always going to do your 3, chain 1, and then do 3 more. I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to go in here and do my 3 double crochets before I go to my next corner. Isn't that pretty? And it's just going to keep growing and growing. So if I would have did this row that we just did in a different color, you would see the blue, the brown here, and then this would be the next color. Oops. Go in there and grab my yarn through. I can't remember who I gave it to, but I made one of these square blankets, and then I put fleece on the other side, and I tied it around Had all those little fringes hanging, and it was a really nice warm blanket. Oh, you know what? I do have that blanket still. It was a Christmas blanket that I made. It's absolutely my granddaughter's favorite. I made it, gosh, I don't know how many years ago, 4 years ago. I still have it, and I only bring it out at Christmas. So it's her favorite Christmas blanket. So 4 years ago, because she is 11 now, 4 years ago, she was a little tiny thing. So I guess I really probably need to make her a bigger one. But it was made in the black, white, and red variegated yarn. And I just started, and I kept going until it got really big. And then I put red fleece on the back. It is put up right now. And that is her blanket. When she comes over and stays, that is her blankie. So I'm going to go into this top stitch. I'm going to do my slip stitch. Isn't that pretty? So that's how you do a square. And if you were going to continue to use the same color, you would go ahead and do your slip stitches here and go into your middle. Well, continue to do your slip stitches, or I would end here and go here and start your stitches. So I hope you enjoyed this. And you know, when you change your colors, you don't have to go to the one right after this one. You can go to any one you want if you wanted to change it up. I'm in a corner, so I'm going to do my 2 sets of 3 double crochets. I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to go ahead and do 3 double crochets here, because remember, the bigger you get, the more of these little openings where you only do 3 double crochets are going to be. I chained 1. I'm going to go ahead and bury my little, and then sometimes I just like to fold it back over. I think it just holds it down a little better. And plus it covers it up so I don't have to cut it off. Do my 3 double crochets here. Chain 1. Chain my next 3 double crochets. Chain 1, because I am here in the corner, I'm going to do 3 more. Chain 1, and do 3 in here. Chain 1, and do 3 in the next. And that look pretty. And then here's another corner, so I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to do my 3 double crochets, chain 1, and do 3 more. I have a nice beginning to a nice square. Chain 1 before you go into the next opening, and I'm going to do 3 double crochets here, chain 1, do 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then I'm going to do another corner. So you can see how this is, you just repeat this all the way around. here in the corner. I'm going to do my 3, chain 1, and do my other 3. So, you're on a good start for your square. I hope this was easy to follow. I hope you all have a great day. We're having a daytime thunderstorm here in Des Moines today. It's a Saturday, which is kind of nice. I mean, it's gloomy out. You can hear the thunder. Everything's getting rained on, so it's getting nice and clean, which is nice. And it's just, it's just nice that it's not cold enough to be snow or sleet here, because we did have that this last week. So I am going to do my chain 1 here at the end. I'm going to go into the top of my chain and do my slip stitch. And if I was going to use this color, I'd slip stitch to here. And if I'm going to change my color, I would just end it. And that's how you make a nice square. You can't see where I connected them, which is really nice. So I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. And I'm going to show you the one that I have already made.